It's been 3 months since the creekkidz video, which remains my longest non-podcast video. By the way, if you're wondering what's happened to the podcast in recent times, I don't know. I can't find anything to talk about. That's really it. Anyways, in the creekkidz video, both me and Zach mentioned a little something we just called the tunnels. I won't make you watch the full 28 minutes, so here's a recap of where we left it. At the end of the creek lies a water drainage tunnel that was gated shut for the longest time. One night, we had an awful tornado strike our town, a tornado so powerful that it blessed the neighborhood with the gate being ripped off. You non-local viewers don't know how awesome this moment was. Back in the days of creekkidz, we would climb on the gate and chill there while staring into that dark abyss. The tunnels, in short, played a huge role in our imaginations at the time, and everything was about to come true. So in correlation to the creekkidz video, I'm gonna, provide you guys with a map as me and my friends go further into the tunnels. We didn't fully take advantage of the tunnels for the first few weeks of the gate coming off. A lot of hangouts revolving around it would go like this. Me and my friends would go to the entrance, wait around, go back because we didn't want to go in. I was one of the first people who started staying in the entrance, getting a feel for what the tunnels were like. The entrance is honestly the deepest point. It can nearly go up to your knees if you're short enough, but it's also extremely wide. Anyways, eventually me and Zach gained confidence to do the first full expedition in the tunnels. So we brought flashlights and we went right into the dark spot. So at this point it curves around and gets a lot more shallow. Eventually we come up to this lone light in the tunnel. This right here is the most elusive light in history. Sometimes it emits a blue light, sometimes it's like greenish, and most times it literally isn't there. It's pretty fucking weird. But nonetheless, this singular elusive light marks a huge point in the exploration of the tunnels. Now, I can't remember what it was that led us to this dumbass conclusion, but we assumed beyond the light was a straight down drop. Now, for one, you can't see anything without a flashlight from this point on. However, I'm ultimately not sure why we thought this. For the next few expeditions, we would go to the light, stop there, then go back. It still managed to be exciting every time. I specifically remember this one expedition which granted a new unspoken rule to the tunnels. So basically, me, Lucian, and Logan show up, and there's already some other people we know who are about to go in there. These guys being Anthony, Summer, Barbara from the creekkidz video, and I forget your name, but I'm pretty sure it's Kira. So we decide to all go in, minus Summer and Logan, but the majority of us go in. So, what do you think happens when more than 4 people enter the tunnels? Well, the tunnels are very echoey, so the answer is that you go deaf. Dude, this was torture. Luckily, we still believe in the whole drop thing, so we didn't go far, but this was still heightened by the fact that going back, everyone began screaming for no reason. I might as well just lost my hearing then and there. It sucked, man. Anyways, at some point, me and Zach realized that if you take 2 steps forward, you'll realize there's no drop. It keeps going. And so tunnels exploration was fully reignited. This led to, at the time of making this, the second most groundbreaking expedition. And this leads us to another unspoken rule. Don't bring dangerous people with us. For this one, we were going as far as we could unless a bigger obstacle gets thrown our way. No exceptions. Now, Zach has had some friends throughout the years that I think are dumbasses and straight up just weird people. He's acknowledged some of them, but for this expedition, he told me last minute that he brought 3 friends alongside us. Already, that's more than 4 people, but that wasn't the bad part. Now, 2 of these guys would be Corbin and Fred. They're chill people. Then you got the third person. This girl whose name was Xana. She was, for one, huge. She can and will fuck up any dude she wants. But also, she was just kind of fucking insane. But she got really mad really easily and lashed out in violent ways. So yeah, why not bring her to the fucking tunnels? So fortunately, she didn't really hurt anyone. But she was still acting extremely off. As always, she was really focused on trying to hurt Corbin in some way. She nearly hit me in pitch darkness. But when the light revealed it was me, she was like, "Oh my god, sorry, I thought you were Corbin." Anyways, enough about her. Let's get an update on where we are. So eventually, you get forced into single file as the tunnel tightens, nothing too extreme. You take a right turn, which seems like it naturally formed rather than being built like that. Then, for the first time, we saw natural light at the end of the tunnel. Did we really just reach the end? No. But stay tuned because there's more shit to cover. We come to what we'll call a checkpoint. Checkpoints are rooms in between the tunnels that can serve as a resting area. Sometimes they can serve as obstacles, and this is probably the biggest obstacle in the tunnels by far. We come to this room with a graded area overhead where light can leak in. But the most notable part is that there's a much smaller tunnel that goes into a regular sized tunnel above if you climb up it. Partnered with that, there's relatively strong running water coming out of the smaller one, and it's pretty slippery at points. We'll call the smaller tunnel the slide. So we get here, and we're left with two options. 1, climb up the slide. 2, use the ladder to get into the upper tunnel. We did neither because Xana had an anxiety attack and made a huge fuss about it. Walking back, I, unluckily and luckily, discovered the existence of this, the pothole. This basically is, well, a pothole, but if you go in the tunnels bare feet, you do not want to step in this. You could cut your foot open. I was the first person to step in this. It sucked. Also, on the way back, we nearly lost Corbin. He fell back and stopped responding just to fuck with us. Dude, why? While Xana might have been a dick, at least we covered some major ground. The next few expeditions would be with Zach only, and we would stop every time at a checkpoint. We were just trying to figure a way up, and if we couldn't, the tunnels were explored to our abilities. One thing we got out of the way was that climbing up the slide would be, actually, much safer than going up the ladder. The ladder puts you in this extremely awkward position, and you might have to take a leap of faith if you wanted to get into the upper tunnel. Alongside that, then you'd also have to deal with a massive hole in the floor. So, we tried endlessly to get up that slide, and this is easily the toughest section of the tunnels. But one day, we actually made it. We made it up the slide through just raw dogging a slippery wall climb. Now, how do we get down? Well, there's many ways, but this is why we call it the slide. You just slide down. Be careful, though. It can hurt like a bitch if you do it wrong. You gotta ease yourself in a bit, then let go. Don't full send it. You'll break your tailbone. So, around this period of time, Zach was busied with other things, but we gained a new tunnels connoisseur. This guy being none other than Aiden. I met Aiden in grade 7, and we started actually hanging out during the summer of that year. We hung out a lot during that summer. We were locked in. But he likes doing dumb shit, so why not show him easily the dumbest thing I did on a regular basis? Like me and Zach, he was also born to do this. He was a natural. I remember one time we actually came across some guy we assumed was asleep in the tunnels. No, he was not dead. There would have been an awful stench. But eventually, we managed to plan an expedition with me, Zach, and Aiden. The tunnel squad themselves. We ultimately did go past the checkpoint. Now we move on. The early parts of the tunnel have a ton of graffiti, but past the checkpoint, it's pretty boring. No one has really been up there, I guess. It's a straight line until you get to the checkpoint of no return. This one is smaller, has no light, and the reason it has that nickname is because there's a graffiti message pointing to the turn saying, point of no return. There's also a smaller branch-off tunnel, but even then, none of us were short enough to properly maneuver it without crawling. So, after we go through that stretch, we reach what is still the max, like 3 years later. It gets fuzzy trying to recall what it looked like. Here's what I remembered. This is where the tunnels fully branch. You have two paths. One path is noticeably smaller, and you go up a little ramp. The other path is weirdly wide and looks very rocky. I couldn't tell what it was, if it was like shit or rock, but it looked rocky, which we turned back because I wasn't walking over that shit barefoot. So as I said, that's still the limit as of now. We just haven't been able to do expeditions as much. The last time we did was during March break, and this one ended at the slide checkpoint because we decided to recruit a new member. Her name is Madison. Now, there were signs this shit was about to happen because Madison was sort of freaking out the whole time. We got to the slide checkpoint, and in short, Madison was not going up that thing. We tried to get her, but she wouldn't budge. And you don't leave people behind in these sort of things, so we decided to head out. There's been instances of that in the past. I remember I tried to get Trug to come with me alongside Kira because he tricked me into knocking on her door, so now she's here. But he did not want to go in there, though later on he would actually go in with me and Aiden. To close this video off, I need to talk about a recent development with the tunnels, and it has nothing to do with the current ones. No, me and Zach found a different set of tunnels. This one, you're immediately thrown into a checkpoint, but you have to squat or crawl for what feels like an eternity in this one to get to the normal tunnels. This one's a lot more risky, and we also went in this one after a fucking rainstorm. That is so retarded. I lived though, so whatever. Anyways, good talk.